What's the most important workout pace that you need to be hitting in order to hit a PR in your next race? Hi, I'm Coach Kyle from Freedom Running Club, and this is going to be a training gaps video that kind of piggybacks on the last one we did, where we talked about running VO2 max targeted workouts for people who haven't done that. If you're getting ready for sort of those relatively shorter races, we're talking about 8K, 5K, maybe the 2 mile, half mile, if you are a high school or college or middle school athlete. This one's going to be looking at the same general idea for those longer distance athletes, getting ready for, say, 10K, 15, half marathon, full marathon, and longer races. So if you haven't watched that first one, I would definitely recommend looking at that training gaps video. And if you want help identifying your own training gaps, there is a link in the description down below, as well as pinned to our profile. We can send you some information on that if you do want help finding your own training gaps and how to fix them. So, and even thinking about it in terms of fixing is important to change mentality around this. This is an opportunity whenever somebody identifies a training gap. It's finding a way of working on something that can most maximize your race. And today, the athlete profile that we're going to be looking at who really illustrates this is an athlete we've been working with for over 2 years now, named Chloe Byrd. Now, when Chloe came to us, she was just finishing up her time as a college distance runner, and she had aspirations of doing a lot of things, but in particular, she wanted to get into marathon running. And for her, based on all the aerobic testing we did, we knew that her race pace should be right around that 640 range, or 255 per mile for a full marathon. Now, we did a lot of pace work there and really trying to hold that 640, and in some workouts, going a little bit faster, getting into that lactic threshold, half marathon pace. And you have to do some different things, but right around that pace was going to be really critical for her to be able to get to that goal of 255, which is again 640 pace. So it's something that in these longer distance races, because we talked about this in the last training gaps video, this idea that running economy in these longer races is the most important thing, and running economy takes a long time to improve. And it takes more than just pace work, more than just race pace work. It takes a lot of different things, but making sure you're becoming super efficient, super economical running at race pace is really key. So we had workouts where we would say, if the first mile is faster than 640, we're going to stop and we're going to restart, because we really need to lock into what this feels like. We're going to do workouts where we're going to do a lot right there, and then we're going to drop it down for you, identifying this again as a really key pace for her based on her aerobic system, the aerobic testing that we did for her. So we weren't just guessing at it. We weren't like looking at her and being, oh, we think you're a 255. This was really based on testing our athletes, which is something we really believe in here at Freedom Running Club. But doing some workouts right in around that, starting at that pace and then dropping maybe to faster to make sure she was finishing strong, doing some long runs that had pace work in it, starting at that truly easy pace, and after an hour and a half, dropping down to race pace so that we knew that we could do it when she was fatigued. So she has qualified for Boston in every single race that she's done. So obviously she's a very talented athlete. She's done 3 marathons. And in that last marathon that she did, which was the Chicago Marathon this year, 2025, we really knew that we had been able to lock into this. We saw that 640 felt really, really easy for her. She was super comfortable. There was no strain. She could hold it for a long time. We did a lot of things practicing at pace work, taking fuel, things like that, to make sure that there was no, hiccups when it came to running this pace. And, just again, those key workouts where you can run right at it for a while and drop down, do those long runs, and then drop down to this race pace. So running right at that marathon pace, we knew that she was going to be dialed in. But obviously it takes execution on race day, and Chloe just absolutely rocked it when she ran at Chicago 2025. She actually ran a little bit faster than we anticipated. She ran 254, so she was something like 636 pace, which, running the actual race probably was right around that 640. But it really kind of came down to the fact that we were identifying what this pace was. We did it scientifically with testing for her, and then really kept feeding this pace to her over and over again. So this idea of finding the right workout pace, and it's not just about finding your easy run pace, running enough mileage. Our first 2 videos in this series were on this. It's also about running fast. You have to run fast in order to run fast times. Something I tell my athletes all the time: nobody cares about how far we can run. We care about how fast we can run. So when you have things like your mileage or easy pace down, you definitely need to do this faster work. in order to really hit those next goals after you've been running for a while. And so for Chloe, running in that 640 range over and over again, you know, being comfortable with it, knowing, having that confidence that you could do it, she was able to go out there and execute in that race and running that sub 255 pace. And it really all came down to just doing it over and over and over again, knowing this was right for her, and then doing it repeatedly until it became second nature. So really, really important, again, to make sure that you're doing those things in the right zone, not just running paces because, oh, I want to run. You know, don't take this video and say, I want to run 254, so I'm going to run 640. That was what was right for Chloe at that time. Running the right marathon pace, half marathon pace, 15K pace, if those are your goal races, and really kind of keep working at that and giving it time, because again, running economy takes so much time to improve. So if you've been enjoying this series on training gaps and want to know how to identify your own, again, there is that link that's pinned in our profile and it's in the description down below. We'd love to help you find some of your own training gaps and how to fix them. Fill out that form, it'll come right to us and we'll send you some information on it. If you haven't watched those other videos in the series, please, we would recommend taking a look at those. And in our next video, we're going to be looking at the law of training specificity and how that impacts training gaps.
Guys, first time breaking 15, join FRC. It's worth it.